Now, of course, we're all abuzz on a countdown to Thursday's election. And while last night's Question Time audience may have verbally roughed up the three main party leaders, it was nothing compared to the general elections of Victorian England.
Well, the 1865 election in Nottingham in particular has gone down in history as one of the most controversial and violent, with a cocktail of bribery, intimidation and full-scale rioting. Paul Bradshaw investigates in this special edition of Criminal Histories.
Well, in the merry month of May, now from me home I started, left the girls and two and nearly broken hearted.
A violent street gang of political agitators and bare-knuckle boxers. The Nottingham Lambs were thugs for hire, if you had enough money and beer to bribe them with. And in 1865, they were to have a decisive influence on the murky world of Victorian politics.
The political landscape in the late 19th century was incredibly corrupt and chaotic. It was just a disaster. The way we think now that our vote is actually reflected in what happens in the constituency, that wasn't the case. The way you voted, it pretty much had nothing to do with the outcome. Really, what controlled the outcome was money, it was local power, it was nothing to do with democracy.
Looking to control the outcome of the election in Nottingham was Sir Robert Clifton, a popular, if somewhat controversial, politician.
He sort of presented himself as the man of the people who understood their needs and wants. Clifton wanted to give more extensive representation to the working man, but he was not a democrat by any stretch of the imagination.
Clifton's opponents were the two Liberal candidates, Samuel Morley and Charles Paget. And on the 26th of June, they travelled by special train to Nottingham with their supporters to address the town's electorate. But Clifton has arranged a welcome party. At Nottingham's Midland station, the Lambs are waiting for them.
Despite being attacked and jostled along the way, the visitors eventually arrive here at the Sheep Lane end of the marketplace, and that's when things get really nasty. Around 400 Nottingham Lambs attack the Liberals with a shower of stones and missiles and prevent them from taking the platform.
A pitched battle ensues, involving hundreds, and only ends when the Lambs tear down the Liberals' hustings and set it on fire. Thanks in no small part to the intimidation and violence of his paid thugs, the Lambs, Clifton is duly returned to Parliament. But after an investigation by the House of Commons, the Nottingham election results were deemed null and void. Clifton is unseated and a by-election called.
150 years on, the 1865 election in Nottingham is important because it reminds us how fragile democracy is in terms of its history.
Nationally, it's held up as an example of the need to change the system. And within a decade, those radical changes were to come to form the basis of the election system we know today. Paul Bradshaw, BBC East Midlands Today, Nottingham.
Wow.
Well, nothing like that next Thursday, hopefully.